Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Okay, let me see who was here first about an hour ago. Oh, man. That was so long ago. I'm scrolling. Okay, just got there. Prayers for all in hospital, sick and shut in, Sussexes and Sussex Squad family. Amen. Thank you very much, Annie Bullard, for remembering everyone who is struggling. That is very kind of you. But yes, so I think Church Nelly was on with Ann earlier, right? So that's good. And I haven't heard anything from Jerry White. So, but I told her to please contact me while she's in the hospital if she's able to do it. So, but no rush. Healing comes first. So, all right, Connie Balmer. Hey, Connie Balmer. Uh, give up the fight because miracles do happen. Yeah, I am one to believe in miracles. That's for sure. There's always hope. I think a very wise man once said, "Where there's life, there's hope." And I believe that. Where there's life, there's hope. Hello, Lottie. Lambert Charles, thank you so much for being here. Nancy Herlock. Let's see. Lydia Washington. And I'm going to just scroll because it is starting to get late for some people. Hello, Marcy Foreman. Nurse, midwife, something else. I just scrolled past so fast. Berta Sanchez. Okay. All right. So we're good. Let me take this away. I got this up. You guys, I just kind of did this thumbnail last minute because I was listening to David Starkey. David Starkey, I believe, is a historian. And David Starkey just said something quite shocking. Now, as you guys know, that little person, David Starkey, is a royalist through and through, from head to toe, royalist. You don't get any more royalist than that. And David Starkey said something that really surprised me. The sound quality was so bad, it really wasn't worth me trying to share it because the sound quality was just atrocious. But he said, and I quote, that take a good look in May the 6th. And then he named whoever the first king that went through a coronation. I guess that was back in 1066. He named that person, and then he named Charles Philip Arthur George Mountbatten-Windsor. And he said to take a good look at that because this is going to be the last time we're going to see the coronation, the absolute last time that you are going to see a coronation. And I can believe it. I can believe it. It was a feeling that I had back in 2018. As I have mentioned this story before, I'll say it again. I keep referencing it because it's not because I'm trying to be smart, but just that I had a feeling that it was true. And, as we were in a group of people, I do believe this guy was an undercover police officer. He was by himself. And he wasn't a tourist, he was a local. And he wasn't like weird like some of those other people that go to everything. So I said to him, I said, when the queen goes, all of this goes too. And he was like, you think so? And for a long time, I felt really bad about that because I have to tell you, I enjoyed Trooping the Colors because, I got a chance to see Meghan and Harry again. So I see Meghan and Harry at the wedding. And then a few days later, I see them at the Troop in the Color, or was it 2 weeks later? I was still there. So I made a point to be there. And I just kind of said that as in a very matter-of-fact way. And as time has gone by, and I've had a chance to see what the royal family means to so many people, the amount of infrastructure, if you will, that upholds the royal family, I still stand by what I said. There's no way in the world that something like that is sustainable. And I didn't say that because I hate the royal family. I didn't say that because I dislike the royal family. I said that because it doesn't serve a purpose. It does not serve a purpose. Yes, it employs people, but there's just no real justification for the amount of cost and effort that it takes to maintain that. Now, if it was, say, a smaller country and you were dealing with a smaller amount of money, but in the day and age that we live in, where fuel prices are so absorbent that you you have people choosing whether or not to heat their homes, a choice I've never made in my life. And I mean, even when I made like minimum wage, when I made much less money in my life, I've never had to choose one or the other. Of course, there were places I lived where heat was included. I only had that experience where it wasn't, only one time in life. And even that wasn't so awful. We're talking about 1980s electric heating. And then, of course, the price of food, the inflation, and the information age that we live in. I just don't know how you can keep something like that. People know too much, people see too much. And as Dr. Maya Angelou says, when you know better, you do better. And yes, when you know better, you do better. When you know better, you know that this is not sustainable. So that was very interesting. I had only just saw that maybe an hour ago. And the sound, I was trying to find the actual program so I could get a little better quality sound. He was standing in front of Buckingham Palace. That's the only thing I can describe the video. And it was very short. But the point was, take a good look at this because you will never see it again. So, kind of sad for people that is very important to. And there are, royalists who their entire lives have felt as long as that family. Oh, okay. You know what? I just found it. I'm gonna save this because I wanna. You know what? I tell you what. I will try to play the sound, and if you can hear it, you can hear it. If you cannot, I tried. Okay, but I'll play it. Let me see here. If you can hear it, you can hear it. But if not, then I did try. But it's just very interesting. Not something I was expecting from him. Wait, did I bookmark it? Oh Lord, let me see here. Okay. All right, let me do this first. Okay. And I will get that for you directly. That was on my burner account. Wait, that was on my burner account. Can't play it from there. Aha, there we go. Yeah, it doesn't work on the burner account. Okay, so let me try that again. What? Wait a minute. What? What is that? Oh my God. I'm not trying to be funny, but please don't try to blame Meghan for it. Because you know how they do. Wait. So, did I bookmark this? Okay. Now I got a bookmark. Let me see if I could play it for you.
have a terrible feeling that wine is so new and the bottles are so old that they're likely to burst. If I were you, I'd look very carefully and try to memorize the events of May the 6th. It was exactly 1,050 years ago, in 973, it was the coronation of King Edgar at Bath, with which I began. The coronation of King Charles, I think, is going to be the last, just as that of King Edgar was the first.
Okay, so I doubt if, oh God, that was awful. I don't know if you could hear it or not, but the coronation of King Edgar at Bath was the first, and the coronation of King Charles will be the last. Very ominous words from David Starkey. Very ominous words. Okay, so let me see here. 250 million is a slap in the face to people who doesn't have a home or even food to eat. That's crazy. And that's why the royal family never proposed their ripping off humanity. I'm sorry, Prosper, that is. I'm sorry. They're ripping off humanity in the UK. Thank you so much for that, Alicia. But yeah, I mean, the Queen's coronation was post war, and people, I believe when the Queen got married, there were people that were trying to send their rations. They were trying to use their ration books to help the Queen, right? But this is a very different time, and people are so connected in ways are that is so different from the past that you just actually I it's just very different. I think it is very different. So, hey BW, thanks for the pics. We looked at them yesterday, but I don't think you were here. But we did enjoy your images of Sevilla. Okay, let's see. Baron, I heard that it will rain on Coronation Day. I was hoping for fire and brimstone, but I'll settle for a washout. Yeah, yeah, I think it's possible that there'll be a washout. You know how sometimes it drizzles and you're just like, okay, not much to it. But I for the people again, I'm not going to make this about my own feelings about things, but for the people that it is very important to, I hope that it is everything that they want it to be. Because let's face it, you guys, some people have waited a lifetime to see a coronation. I was always eager to see a coronation, but I didn't realize how much I was going to, I guess, kind of emotionally drift away from the person going through the coronation. It's an historic event, but it's hard to enjoy something when you know the actual cost of it. And I don't mean just the financial cost, but when you know the actual cost. And when you consider what the queen consort and what the king has, when you consider the things that they have been accused of, the alleged events that led to this moment, how in God's name could anybody enjoy it? How could anybody enjoy that moment? And even the royalists are saying they're not excited. Even the royalists, even one of the Bang sisters on, that sounds weird, doesn't it? But one of those women with the big bangs, or you guys call it fringe over there, right? The one with the blonde one, I think. She even said she's not happy or excited about it. Lex says, I worry about the weather for Harry leaving the UK. Yes, at least you got your priorities right. Thank you. Your priorities are very correct. Thank you so much, Legs. That is important. Get them out of there. Get them out of there. Let's see here. Earthquake, Sean, it's not impossible. Let's see. I know that most squatties do not want any violence toward anyone. We can respectfully disagree. Yes, absolutely. We don't want anyone hurt. And guys, I promise you, I have a friend that passed away during the pandemic. Um, and I told him, I said, we may not live to see a coronation. And he was like, you think so? I said, well, let's face it. The Queen Mother lived to 100. There's, some people that are making it to 110. And if she possibly lives, and at the time when we first had the conversation, I said, if she lives to like 105, 106, who's to say we'll be here to see it, right? She could languish in one of those castles for years in a state of decline, and we wouldn't know the difference, would we? So, and how ironic. He's gone, I'm here, and there's a coronation. And I don't know anybody that's excited about it. I cannot find anyone that is excited about the coronation. So let's see here. Thank you, Desiree T. Okay, Mama Jane, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for being a member and, of course, for supporting Royal Sussex. Very helpful. I greatly appreciate it. And BW, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for being so super supportive to Royal Sussex. Greatly appreciate it. And thank you for, I guess, taking us on your trip to Spain. You have made a lot of people dream about travel. And I do hope, and you guys, I'm going to do a travel show one of these days, just so I can speak to the older people like myself that want to travel and are just like not sure. We'll have a chat, maybe just one time, and I can give you the best idea of how you can make this happen, whether you're going with someone or if you're going by yourself. If you are adventurous or even if you've never done it before, I will do what I can. So I want to do that one of these days. So maybe a Saturday, or I don't know, maybe a weekday if there's like not a whole lot going on. Then we'll discuss the ins and outs of it, what's practical about it. And all I can do is share some of my thoughts about it. So yeah, let's do that. If you guys are interested, please let me know. Maybe I'll put something on the community tab and you can let me know what some of your thoughts or questions are. But again, thank you very much, BW and Connie Balmer. Connie Balmer, thank you so much for the super chat and also for being a member of Royal Sussex. Happy Tuesday to you. Okay, Joseph Berno says, I hope after the coronation, Harry hops on the first thing smoking and leaves Shutter Island. Mystic Toxin, I plan to stock up on popcorn for this weekend. That's a good idea. I got some microwave popcorn myself. Let me see here. I told you guys I'm going to be documenting this weekend. No one on my end seems to even know about the coronation. Either way, everyone I know could care less about it. Now, if Meghan was going to be prominently featured, it would have been different. I think it would help with the American audience. I do believe it would have helped. You guys, the royal family, I'm just like, you had the mother of all opportunities with the Duchess of Sussex, and it has been squandered over pettiness. I have to believe, well, you know what? Let me stop. I can't believe it because it's probably not true. I was going to say I wanted to believe that it was something so far out of their control, like perhaps, maybe the media or someone is blackmailing them and they just can't make wise decisions or they're prevented or something like that. But And that could be part of the problem, is that there is so much dirt on them that they cannot go against the people that are working diligently to make them look terrible. But already they're starting up on Harry and the uniform thing. And so, like I said, I couldn't possibly be excited about the coronation. I was even, and I know this sounds kind of morbid, but I was just, after all the documentaries I watched, I said to myself, what is a state funeral like? I've never paid attention to any of them. I guess you could say Diana's was a state funeral, but not officially, not in name, but you know, but it was not a complete state funeral like that of the sovereign. So when that happened, whereas my usual historical curiosity should have been like excited to see how this is done and how that's done, all I could focus on was how bad they were treating the Sussexes. And I'm like, is there no one within that institution that could explain to them how how terribly wrong this has gone, because they are so blind to how these things affect that institution in the long run? It's as though they just, if it's the wrong decision, that's the one that they'll go with. Alicia says it's definitely, I'll definitely be watching. I'm going to drag every single outfit because we all know they can't dress for occasions, and that wild animal of a queen is the worst of them all, even with tiara. Well, that beehive, I told you, that beehive tiara that she wears, my thoughts about that is that the queen gave her that because she is so, you know, she's like trying to be the queen bee all the time. And who knows, maybe she is actually running it. 40 zillion hands. Retired stockbroker 81 testifies at, oh, okay, that's about that trial. I'm trying to see if I can find anything about something happening in the UK. I see controlled blast at Palace, controlled explosive at Buckingham Palace. Royal residence is put on lockdown as man who threw shotgun cartridges into the grounds is arrested for possession of offensive weapons. Oh boy. Now, you know what? You know what? I'm not going to go into any conspiracy theories because it's probably too soon for that. But really, really, okay. All right. All right. Hmm. Okay. I mean, if it's what you say it is, that is interesting. So they had a controlled blast to eliminate the shotgun cartridges. Got it. Very interesting. So I suppose no one was hurt. Huh, okay. Well, I see that that's what it is. Interesting. So more security for the occasion, no doubt. More security is called for. All right, so I'm going to open up another screen so I can see what you guys are seeing. I can see we have a new member at Royal Sussex, Julie Grant. Thank you so much, Julie Grant, for joining the membership of Royal Sussex. Remember, you guys, a membership is very different from being a subscriber. When you subscribe, that just means that you are helping to support this channel through the algorithm and such. When you're a member, that means that you are financially donating to Royal Sussex every month, for whichever level you have chosen, and that, of course, goes toward the the channel. So that is the difference. Now, if you are a member on Patreon, oh, sorry about that. If you are a member on Patreon, that does not give you access to the like stickers or whatever that is in the live chat. You won't have access to that. But again, you are able to help support Royal Sussex. So thank you very much, Julie Grant. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Tuesday to you. Thank you very much. Okay, so I better go to the next slide. Okay, all right. And next, here we go. So the ancestors have spoken. Yes, the ancestors are speaking, and they are speaking about the coronation. So I believe that the ancestors are the reason why we're expecting rain and thunderstorms. That is because of the ancestors. Yeah, but nah. Oh, man. Yes, from the day he arrived at Westminster Abbey, thunder clouds began to fill the skies. There was more rain than they'd ever seen. There was more thunder that made the sky cry. Oh, man. That is the word from the ancestors. They are saying to everyone that this event is going to be a washout. Now, again, I'm not wishing anything bad because there are some people that have waited a lifetime for this event. But because of the decisions and the choices and the nonsense that has come out of that institution, nobody is excited about it. It did not have to be this way. It did not have to be this way. I'll say that again. That this did not have to be. But the decisions, the choices, the nastiness from the likes of this two people right here, these two, and of course, where's those other two? These two people. That is why it is a mess. The future king and the king, I hold them responsible. Nobody else. So enjoy your coronation. I'm sure it'll be fun. Okay, support for the monarchy is falling all over the world. So within the United Kingdom, amongst the British, that is, 55% says yes, we ought to have a monarchy. And then, of course, in the Netherlands, they are just like, well, I think that's the Netherlands, right? 51%. And Spain, 39%. Canada, 33%. I suppose that's all. Is that Australia or New Zealand? I can never tell the difference. 31%. And Jamaica, they're just like, get them out of there. I hope I got, excuse me, I hope I got those flags right. But yeah, get them out of there. Why do I feel like the Dutch flag should have orange in it? I don't know why the Dutch flag is not orange. Is it orange? The House of Orange. Is it orange? Elaine Parker, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you also for being a member of Royal Sussex and Royal Sussex latest, most recent, and of course, I would even say popular today. One of Royal Sussex's most popular moderators. Thank you so much. All right, let me see here. And then there's this Meghan Markle, Joe Biden, and the notable names missing from the King's coronation list. This is shocking to me. Not that I'm surprised, but they're saying the quiet parts out loud. This is why I said Princess Meghan, most popular royal. Because anytime your name goes above the President of the United States and all the rest of the royal leaders, especially when the story is coming from, oh gosh, let me see, I forget which publication this was. Oh man, let me think. Anyway, but there you could see the coronation chair. You could also see the Stone of Scone, which had actually been taken from the abbey on an occasion back in the 50s, right? Some students from Scotland, because of their national pride, decided to take that stone back to Scotland. The only reason why the stone was in the Westminster Abbey all those years is because, or was it James the First or Second or something, like probably James the Third? I don't remember which one. But knowing that that stone is very sacred to the people of Scotland, he had a throne built so that on Coronation Day he could sit on top of the Stone of Scone. Now, the story about the stone says that oh gosh, I think it was a monk or something like that, had I think they had fell asleep on the stone. Listen to me, scone. Anyway, it is said to have a mystical connection to Scotland, and so that's why it's so important. Other than that, it's just a piece of rock. Now, here's the real funny thing about it. One of the things they're not going to discuss is the fact that some people are not even sure that that's the original stone. Some people said that when it was returned, that it was actually lighter than it was. Originally, it was like some 400 pounds, and now it's like probably, I don't know, 50 pounds lighter. But it is very heavy, and it had actually fractured at least one or two occasions. So there's metal rods holding it together. But that stone may not be the original. Now, of course, people that are superstitious, they believe that if you don't have that stone, that the coronation is not going to go well, or that the monarch will have bad luck or something like that. And so they do believe that when the stone was brought back from Scotland for the Queen's coronation, that it may not have been the authentic stone. Um, so who knows? But they may have hidden it because they have actually hid the thing before. So, Elaine Parker, thank you so much for the super sticker. And also, thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. And happy Tuesday to you. And thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. Greatly appreciate it. And V. Brown, thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Tuesday to you. And thank you very much for watching Royal Sussex. Oh, Pam Porter says it was James the First, who, okay, so James the First was actually James the Fifth in Scotland, but James the First, or was it James the Seventh in Scotland and James the First in England? Because he was a Scottish Protestant king who inherited the throne from Elizabeth the First, who I don't even think actually named her successor, but they said she said her nephew. But whatever. So anyway, that is how the two kingdoms were united. When Elizabeth I died, and the only logical heir to the throne was James of Scotland, King James of Scotland, when he came down to England and took the throne, he was the king of both nations. And then, of course, I don't know which King James it was who united the two kingdoms. Maybe it was James the Third. I don't recall. But that is why they call the flag the Union Jack, because, Jack was short for James. So anyway, he said in order to help unite the two kingdoms, you can name the flag after me, the Union Jack. So that's why they call it the Union Jack, because it is a variation of the Cross of St. George. And of course, the Scottish cross, which is the X shape, and you put the two together, and that is where you get the Union Jack from. So that is my very amateur British history. Thank you, Pam Porter. Okay. Godchild says, hi, Baron. Your friend, the Royal Superfan Royalist, with whom you took a photo, was interviewed today on the BBC. He was the first to camp outside the palace and will stay there till the coronation. Oh, okay. John Loggery, well, that guy. Yes, I'm a royal supporter. That little Fruit Loop. Let me stop that. He was very nice. He was very nice.
We've got our tiring up here. We've got our beds here. We put it all together, and we didn't get to bed till 4:30 in the morning. Now we're going to sing a song for you. Not a song. We're going to say something to you.
We're national anthem.
Okay.
God save our gracious King.
Is this a Meghan Markle meet and greet?
Is this the Meghan Markle meet and greet? Well, thank you so much for sharing that information. I appreciate it. Let me see. James I was the grandson or great-grandson of Henry Tudor. Right. So that was her great-nephew then, right? I think so. Yeah, and let me see. I think, yeah, Elizabeth I was the last Tudor's king. And then after Elizabeth I died, James I became the first Stuart king, right? That was the House of Stuart. So it went from Tudor to Stuart. All right. And then, yeah, I kind of forget a little bit of that in between. But yes, I actually watched a documentary one time that took you from every king from start to finish. I even watched a documentary one time that was every what do you call them? Czar. Every czar from first to last. Every single one of them. Okay, so thank you very much, you guys, for all your help. Like I say, we always learn so much from each other on Royal Sussex. Black Queen, where you been? Let's see. Can they add a part to the ceremony where they drop the stone on the head of two wicked witches of the West? Well, after they apply the holy oil, they may have to at least put it on their feet to keep them from flying around the room. So, yeah, we'll see. Okay. James Stewart? James Stewart. You know what? I just got that. I didn't think about it, but yeah. We had a Jimmy Stewart, the actor. Let's see here. Yes, the Queen, through her mother's family, was supposedly related to the real Count Dracula. So that's how Charles also related. Oh, okay. All right. So take a look here. Poll suggests most Canadians don't want Charles as king. 60% of respondents against Charles being recognized as King of Canada. That is so weird to hear that because, Canada is so closely tied to the United States, right? Except for that weird kilometer stuff. Actually, it was so much fun when I drove through Canada one time and I had a chance to use the kilometers. I was like, oh, I get to use the kilometers. I was so excited. It's enough to make me want to go back. I want to go back to Canada. When I went to Canada, it was the 1980s, right? Yeah, it was the 1980s. So it's been a while. So I would like to go back. Let me see here. And then right here, Palace row erupts over misunderstood plans for people to swear allegiance to the king. What misunderstanding? We all know that that's exactly what was intended. The only thing is, it backfired. Now, I'm going to say that the Archbishop of Canterbury may have sabotaged the king because of their difference of opinion when it comes to defender of the faith and defender of faith. I think that there may have been a little friction between the two men, and maybe that's how that happened. Yes, I would love to do that. I so want to go to Toronto again. I didn't get a chance to see much of it. And then I want to go to Montreal. I want to go to Montreal. So that is my goal, is to go to Toronto and Montreal. Love to do that. And then maybe come down through Niagara Falls, because I've never been there. Can you believe that? And then maybe spend some time in New York City. Anyway, that's my dream. But yeah, I think that there was a saboteur. And perhaps it wasn't the arch. Look at the way they have the cartoon. It's, I'm always impressed at how they capture the essence of the person using these illustrations. Now there's the Archbishop there. Now take a look at his cartoon version. It looks just like him. Charles and the Archbishop. I promise you. I don't know how they do that, but I'm always amazed at how just a few simple lines and you totally got the person. I mean, look at that. That is talent. That is talent. It did not take much. I could sit here and just go back and forth all day, just fascinated with the talent. Oh, man. But anyway, we have to move on. Oh, really? Sightseeing and then on to Niagara Falls. Okay. Well, you know what? After I leave, look at me trying to put together itinerary. After I leave Toronto, I can go to Madam C.J. Walker's house, which is in upstate New York, I think, right? And Madam C.J. Walker is reported to have been the first Black female millionaire in the United States, although some people dispute that. But I could go to Madam C.J. Walker's house. I don't even care if I can't get inside. I just like to go and be there and see it and everything. Then I can go on to New York City. How about that? Now that's an itinerary. Marcy Foreman, I have never actually been to Detroit. I drove through it, which is not the same as actually spending some time there, but I would love to see Detroit. Now, see, that's an itinerary. Go through Detroit, go to Toronto, continue to Montreal, and then come down through Montreal from Montreal to wherever Madam C.J. Walker's house is, and then continue on to New York City. How about that? Now that would be fun. Road trip. Okay, so right here you have the famous street party. This is a British institution, if there's ever been. The street party. You put on your party hats. You pull a cracker. That's those little toys inside. Well, anyway, you pull a thing and it pops and confetti and stuff comes out of it. That's pull a cracker. But yeah, you pull a string and all of a sudden you got stuff flying all over the place. So there you go. I would love to actually, well, know what? I did see one of those street parties. When I was in Windsor, they actually had a couple of street parties. I didn't actually go near it. But yeah, they did have some street parties there. Okay. Oh, thank you, Marcy Foreman. And then right here, will you attend the Coronation Street Party? 18 to 24-year-old says, let me see. I guess the dark is very likely, and then it goes up from there. So somewhat likely, take a look at that. The somewhat likely is just almost every demographic is somewhat likely. Somewhat likely, meaning no. And then, of course, somewhat unlikely. So, yeah, I mean, it's just nobody's interested. Nobody's interested. Most people are not going to bother. They're not going to bother. I can guarantee you, if it says that many people would actually possibly go, that means not. Okay. Only very old people on those street parties, royal family demographics. Oh, man. Well, thank you. It's Daisy, right? Thank you so much for that. But yeah, I would agree. Let's go back and take a look at the crowd, shall we? Yeah, I see what you mean. It looks like the cast of that movie Cocoon. It's the best Marigold hotel. Yeah, that's it. It's the cast. It's the cast party for the best Marigold hotel. Pomerose says King Charles is so insecure that he feels the need to exaggerate his importance by connecting biblical artifacts to his pageantry in a sad attempt to elevate his status. Yeah, it is pretty sad. It is. You know, I don't feel like I'm not going to, I guess what I'm saying is I feel sad that he just doesn't get it. Either that or he's just not smart enough to change. He's not adept enough to change. It's almost it's sad to watch. It really is sad to watch. And even though a lot of us had flirted with the idea that there may have been some controlled opposition, I think, controlled or not, the whole thing is spiraling out of control. And I can't help but think that it has become a huge embarrassment, because why would you want to beam those images around the world? I think it's not good for anybody. I mean, for anyone who, I guess, desires to be in a space like that. I'm just trying to think. When I was at the Troop in the Colors, if there would have been protests like that, I wonder how I would have felt about it. Or if I would even bother to like go to another, you know what I mean? So interesting. I don't know. I'm kind of nosy. I probably would go, but I don't know. But thank you so much for your comment. Okay. And then right here, let's see. So I have a little, actually, you know what? I was going to do my usual soundbite, but the sound quality was awful. So I decided to, uh-oh, don't tell me I don't have it. Uh-oh. I don't think I have it. Wait a minute. Wait for it. Huh. Oh, you know what? It probably is not there. Oh, yeah, I see it. Oh, I got nervous for a second there. Just got lucky.
No, but what I'm nervous isn't the
overwhelming arena.
No, but you have to be very careful because you get trolled like I've done before by moronic people. But the fact is, you know, people that have just don't even listen or don't even read properly. The Sussex squad, for example, who I find abhorrent. But the fact is, what I'm trying to say to you is that she was under a lot of pressure on that trip, and maybe
Nervous.
Okay, I want you to listen again carefully because I'm not making this up. Jobo actually let out a grunt. You are literally going to hear him go. All right, now listen carefully.
No, but what I'm
Such
nervous isn't the
overwhelming arena.
No, but you have to be very careful because you get trolled like I've done before by moronic people. But the fact is, people that have just don't even listen or don't even read properly. The Sussex squad, for example, who I find abhorrent. But the fact is, the Sussex squad, for example, people that have just don't even listen or don't even read. People that have just don't even listen or don't even read properly. People that have just don't even listen or don't even read properly. The fact is, people that have just don't even listen or don't even read properly. The Sussex squad, for example, who I find abhorrent. But the fact is, what I'm trying to say to you is that she was under a lot of pressure on that trip, and maybe
Nervous.
Did you guys hear it? Did you all hear that? It was. Okay, listen again.
the fact is, people that have just don't even listen or don't even read properly. The Sussex squad, for example, who I find abhorrent. But the fact is, what I'm trying to say to you is that she was under a lot of.
Okay, so she was under a lot of pressure. His waistband, his belt, his button, his fly, all of that's under a lot of pressure. That chair is under a lot of pressure. There's pressure everywhere, all kind of pressure. And look at him. Ooh, he mad. Oh boy, he mad. Maybe, just maybe, she shouldn't have been. She shouldn't have even been traveling. I know, po-chair. And of course, don't even read properly. That's what he said. He said, like the Sussex squad don't understand exactly what's coming out of his mouth. I mean, there are some people in the squad that are academically gifted, and then there's just some people that are street smart, and then there's just some people that are just plain, I guess, brilliant. And so there are quite a few squaddies. I mean, there's not a one type of person that's in the Sussex squad, but I think that the originators of the squad were actually professionals, people that were very educated who said, wait a minute, I see something going on here. And then when they found other like-minded people, that's how the Sussex squad started. So I find it abhorrent. Oh, yeah, you would. And of course, now I don't have the sound for this, but I did want to talk about it. So Afro Annie had a discussion about the future of the monarchy. And part of that discussion was the fact that the slimmed down monarchy is not exactly something that she I think is a good idea. She's not excited about it. And she said that at the time it sounded good when there were a lot of extra people to do the work. But the family, I mean, just think about this. The queen had 4 children, right? And then William had 3. And chances are, when the next generation comes along, like George, what if George doesn't have any kids? You know what I mean? And it has to go to one of his nephews or one of his nieces. So over time, families are smallers, not smallers of family. But yeah, so I actually just said something about that the other day, that they need more people. They don't have enough bodies. You got all these old people, and that includes Will and Kate, because their mentality is just ancient, right? So you have these old people that cannot keep up with the workload. If you need to be visible, if you need to be credible, to depend upon someone as socially awkward as Kate Middlebaum, to depend on someone as moody and unpredictable as William, incandescent with rage William, you don't really have much to work with. Camilla is lazy and doesn't like to work. Kate is lazy and doesn't like to work. William is lazy and does not care to work. So what do you have left? So I think the Princess Royale is more than justified to say that it sounded like a good idea back in the day, but now it's not so practical. Now it's actually silly. Should have never, ever have run the Sussexes away. I cannot stress that enough. Michelle Obama had a very promising and brilliant career as an attorney. And she could have gone as far as she could have wanted to go. I mean, she was on boards of directors and such. She had a good gig, but her husband ran for president. She went with him. And the narrative that Meghan found out that she wasn't being paid, or Meghan got bored with this kind of work, all of those negative things that they said about Meghan, which I do not believe for the life of me there was any truth to it. I believe that they were really talking about other royals, not Meghan. The only reason why I bring up Michelle Obama or another attorney, Hillary Clinton, or someone with a master's degree in whatever it was, Laura Bush, and so many others that have had careers before they went to the White House, a good education before they have gone to the White House. And so for Meghan to accept a platform that is built into her marriage with Harry, right? Stay with me. She marries Harry, and part of this marriage is you will be a duchess, right? You will have an amazing platform, something that will definitely rival what you've already brought to the institution before you got married. Your 3 million followers from Instagram, your fans from your television show, and all the connections that you've made throughout your career. You can bring that with you, and you can actually have that and this new platform. And it's understood you're not going to get paid for it. I mean, that's part of the deal. And so anyone who thinks that, oh, well, she found out there was no money involved, or she didn't like that she wasn't getting paid, it's not always about money. Her life started, she almost was like, how old was she? Like 9 years old or whatever, protesting, standing up for the rights of women, feeding the homeless. All of those things that she did as a child is something that she was likely going to do for the rest of her life. But if people want to turn it into something seedy and tainted with all of those accusations, fine. But that's just not who she is. Lex says, I don't need my PhD to tell that he's full of... Oh, man. Well, I tell you what, if he turns the wrong way, he's going to be full of chair. But thank you so much for that, Legs. All right, so let me show you this other thing right here. Well, I think the slim down was said in the day when there were a few more people around. Let's see, it didn't sound like a good idea from where I'm standing. I would say I'm not quite sure what else we can do. So sitting next to a big bottle of Smirnoff, or what is that, Sky, sitting there next to a big giant bottle of Sky vodka. She just kind of poured it all out. Oh man, I'd like to do one of those interviews if you're going to sit a big bottle of vodka down next to me, or as they say in Russia, vodka. If you're going to sit a big bottle of vodka next to me, I'll do an interview too. Yeah, I'll tell you, I'll pour my soul out for a big jug of vodka. I'm just kidding. I'm sure that that's water. I'm more than certain that that's water that just happens to look like vodka. Okay, let me see here. I have a feeling someone is very ill of health in the royal family, and there is a possibility of really needing Prince Harry. That is why King Charles is pushing him to make sure Harry is showing up. Ooh. Okay, Kim Peaches. Let's stay with that one. Let's stay with that. So, oh my goodness. I don't know why I keep cleaning my glasses, and I don't know how in the heck I'm smearing them, but I keep smearing them. So if you hear me rustling around, that's me cleaning my lenses again. Okay, so let's stay with that one. If I was Charles, or anyone else in the royal family for that matter, everybody knows William is not interested in that work. Amen. Everybody knows that William has a very, very diabolical personality. William's personality his temperament is not one that inspires much, right? And so they need Harry. Now, I think part of the anger with Harry from the institution is not so much that he's called people out. I think it's because they were hoping that he would be there to help William, because William needs help. He cannot do this by himself, and there will be nobody else that will be able to reason with him. I mean, when you think about all of the dumb stuff that happened at Kensington Palace, because William, in his own little kingdom of Kensington Palace, made some very, very dumb decisions. Allowing one of your aides, if you will, secretary, aide, courtier, whatever he was. You tell Jason Knopf, and this is according to Dickie Arbiter. Dickie Arbiter said there was no way that Jason Knopf would have turned over those emails to the court, that there was no way that Jason Knopf would have been able to step outside of his confidentiality agreement with the institution. There's no way that would have happened unless William gave him consent, unless William told him to turn over this information to the attorneys for the Daily Mail so we can help them defeat Meghan in that lawsuit. Because that's what William did. People don't say much about it, but let me say it one more time. William had to give consent. William and Kate, or William, had to give consent to Jason Knopf, who is standing behind William, had to give consent to Jason Knopf to use your emails as a weapon to take down Meghan with this lawsuit. And if that's not enough, let us not forget that Jason Knopf, who is standing behind William, Jason Knopf actually tried to convince the world that he was a co-author of the letter that she wrote to her father that was leaked through the Daily Mail not the entire letter, but just enough to make Meghan look bad. He declared that he was the co-author. Jason Knopf, now please pay attention because I got to say this. Jason Knopf wanted you to believe, me, you, the court, he was trying to convince people that he helped Meghan write a letter. She could not write the letter on her own. I don't know if she wasn't smart enough to do it, if she was too nervous to do it. She was at a loss for words. I don't know why that would have been true. But then once Meghan's lawyers mentioned the fact that Jason Knopf may find himself sitting in a courtroom in a witness box, then all of a sudden, oh, I didn't help her. No, I didn't help her. Nope, I didn't help her. She wrote that by herself. And of course, I would have to look over my glasses at him and say, I know she wrote that by herself. You know she wrote that by herself. But allegedly, that is the way that worked out. Jason Knopf tried to convince people that he had co-authored that letter. And the reason why he said that was so that when Meghan made her case, because under British law, if you write a letter to someone, you own the copyright. It doesn't matter who you give the letter to. If you write the letter, you have the copyright. So he insists that he co-authored the letter. Now, the palace, someone at Kensington Palace, suggested that Meghan write to her father. So Meghan was very wise to write the letter, realizing that someone else was going to read it. Inevitably, someone else would read that letter. So she worded it in a way that she wouldn't have to explain things if it ever came up. So when they leaked the letter in the Daily Mail, they didn't print the letter or publish the letter as it was written. They used excerpts of the letter to try to make sure that Meghan looked as terrible as possible. And so when the time came, when there was some explaining to do, then Jason Knopf tried to get clever and say, well, I co-wrote that letter. Did you? Really? And of course, the Duchess of Sussex, who has some very, very good lawyers, were like, well, if that is the case, you know you're going to end up in a witness box, right? And then all of a sudden, now see, that would have been amazing. I tell you, the last place that Jason Knopf wants to be is in a witness box. And so, as I understood it, Jason Knopf finally admitted that he did not co-author the letter. I just think the caucasity of anyone to say that I co-authored a letter for Meghan is, I mean, just the most ridiculous thing. You don't help Meghan write a letter. You don't do that. She has a voice. She knows how to speak for herself. You did not co-author a letter for Rachel Meghan Markle. That did not happen. So, of course, he backed down. All right, so let me get in over here and see what you guys are saying. Leg says, beg your pardon? We know why Jason is behind. I know. If you think that William has a taste for a good pulled pork sandwich, Jason can't get enough of the pulled pork sandwiches. Oh boy. Wow, my throat is really bad. It's been raining for the past couple of days. So I'm afraid my allergies is getting the better of me. But thank you so much, Lex. Okay, Anne is clueless. Yeah, she's a good talker. She's a good talker, but that's probably where it ends right there. Yes, Marcy Foreman. Their entire caucasity was shown up by our beautiful Black Queen, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. The Duchess is here. All right, let me continue. So here you have, so says the Daily Fail. Forgive me if I'm skeptical of their polling process. Now, this is from a historian, Brooke Newman. And as you guys know, Brooke, you want to help her smooth down her edges. You want to help her with her edges. You're going to put some of that, what is it, jam? Isn't that the stuff? I think it's jam. And you put a little jam on the toothbrush and you just kind of brush it into the hair. Yeah, that's what you need. You got to get a little jam and then put it on the toothbrush and then just kind of push them ends down. Come on over here, Ann. Let me help you with your ends. Come over here, girl. I want to help you lay them ends down. No, hold still now. I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you lay them ends down because it ain't nice to have your ends sticking out. Yeah, she needs somebody to help her with all that stuff I'm talking about. Y'all sitting up here talking about this woman's ends. All right, that's what we doing. Well, I mean, at least you all are thoughtful. I think it's very thoughtful of you that you want to help Anne with her ends. Just lay them ends down. Let me see. How about this one? Annie.
Right on.
All right, that's our Afro Annie. That's our one and only, the notorious Afro Annie. And then, of course, who can forget that time, right? How about this one? How about this one? It's been a while since we actually hung out with Afro Annie. Right on. All right. So that was Sister Afro Annie. Okay. So I hope you all got that out of your system because I can see them ends was getting to you. So now that we've got that out of our systems, let's move on, shall we? So anyway, Brooke Newman says she's very skeptical of their polling. And as a highly educated historian, I trust her when she says it doesn't pass the smell test. I trust her when when they say it doesn't pass the smell test. Majority of British public thinks Charles should not apologize for slavery. And she just doesn't believe that. She believes that there are more good people, more wise, intelligent people in this world than not. Should the king apologize for the part of the UK and the monarchy played in the history of slavery and colonialism around the world? 27% says yes, 55% say no. I think that number's got to be greater. I'm not saying that it would even be more than half, but I don't think that 55% of the people said no. I don't think so. John Youngblood says the British public continues to reveal a racism that I honestly wasn't aware of. When Harry first started dating Meghan, I thought the Queen and her people had more class. How wrong it seems I was. Yeah, I guess I had this like weird idea that if you are wealthy beyond belief, if you have all the resources that you don't want for nothing, why in the world would you worry about those things? But as I have gotten older, I realize that it's not the money. Rupert Murdoch is not there for money. Rupert Murdoch, along with so many other people in these English speaking countries, in the Western industrialized world, they are afraid that the colonization and the slave trade that they promoted in the past, when I say they, I'm talking about the ancestors of those slaveholders, of those, colonizers. Now, let's take the lesson of the Roman Empire. At a certain point, when you have more others, I'll just say others for the sake of this conversation, when you have too many people that don't look like you, your language is not their first language, they don't identify themselves as, let's say, they don't see themselves as British first, they see themselves as someplace else. They don't see themselves as American first. They see themselves as someplace else. And in some cultures, you're not supposed to consider yourself as a British person or as an American person or as a Canadian person. You're supposed to identify with the motherland, with the land of your parents or where you just immigrated from. There's some people that just see it that way. And then there's others, all they want to do is to assimilate and be a part of the greater society. But the problem is not just that not only that there's some people who will never feel like this is home, but then there's people who are never allowed by the greater society to feel like they're home. How many times have I listened to LBC radio and you hear someone who will just flat out say, some old pensioner, oh, you're not British. Remember the black guy on LBC where the lady said, well, no, it wasn't. I think it was the black guy. It was I think she was an Asian woman from India, or at least their parents were. And then there was someone else on LBC. And several times I have literally heard old white British people, old pensioners, declare to them, but you're not British. But I was born here. But you're not British. I have a British passport. But you're not British. Okay, all right. I pay taxes here. Did you hear what I said? You're not British. How many times do we have to tell you you're not British? But I was born at Portland. I don't care where you were born. You're not British. So if you're going to keep doing that to people, then of course, they're never going to feel a part of the greater society. That's okay. That doesn't happen so often in the United States. I've actually seen where it's a person with a British accent that is accused of not being British. But in the United States, unless you, that happens here. If someone has an accent, then sometimes we're just like, well, where are you really from? But otherwise, not myself, of course, because I don't really care. But otherwise, there are people that will declare you're not an American. No, you're not. You're not. Even if you have an American accent, they will still declare that you might not even be an American just because you're Asian. Now, black people, they don't usually do that. If you black and you don't have an accent, that almost never happens. But yeah. So very weird thing. Okay, Lydia Abacus, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. Okay, I'm just all over the place. I need to keep this moving. Manello says, hey, squaddies, I'm back from hospital, and the specialist who attended to me was happy to discharge me after this afternoon. Thank you, Lydia Washington, for announcing to all squaddies well wishes. Oh, thank you so much for sharing, Manello. And I hope you're feeling better. I hope you're feeling better. I don't remember exactly what was going on, but it seems to be like there's a wave of people that are in much need of prayer and support right now. So forgive me if I lose track. Okay. All right. So, all right, I'm going to go to the next thing. All right. So I do have this for you. I want you to listen to this young lady because she is speaking for a lot of young people.
I'm not against a bash. I love a bash. And I think everyone needs probably to be uplifted at this time. I think everyone's struggling. And I don't want to take that away from people. If people are going to get joy from the King's coronation and the celebrations that come with it, great. What I will say is, I don't get it. And I think more and more of us, certainly younger generations, are starting to question it. And this is the thing about the King's coronation that I don't like. I am quite sort of vocally anti-monarchy. That's purely because I think all it does is perpetuate inequality and classism, and it makes us deferential in this country, which I think is a problem because we just sort of accept that there are people that are, born better than us. And I understood it with the Queen, right? I understood how the Queen has so much respect for people. She was a constant throughout their lives. She was a lightning rod for so many people, to remind them of their childhood, or a grandmother or a mother. But King Charles doesn't have that. And you can see with this falling sort of interest in who's going to be celebrating that, actually, I think what we're seeing here is a massive decline in support for the coronation.
Okay. I hope you guys were able to hear that okay. I actually, this is one of the things that took me so long, is that I didn't want to, play it from my speaker like I usually do. I wanted you guys to be able to hear it because I get a little frustrated when I know the sound is really bad. But so there you go. This is someone else who just doesn't get it. Someone who I am going to assume is a native-born British person, English person, perhaps, and she just doesn't get it. There's a lot of young people who just cannot make that connection. Oh, yes. I tell you, when I watched the portions of the Met Gala, and I think I counted at least 3 expecting mothers going through there. And yeah, Serena, I'm so glad that she retired. And I'm so glad that she's going to take time to focus on her family. And I hope and pray that, yes, the baby will be delivered full of health and energy and everything else. But mom needs to, be a part of that too. So I don't know, I'm not a doctor, of course, but yeah, I want her to be happy, and I want the baby to be healthy and happy. So I think about that. You know, I think sometimes society puts a lot of pressure on people to stay active up to the last minute, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But let's face it, she's older, and so I just hope and pray, you know, not that I'm judging her, but if that is a possible factor, I hope that that will be considered, and that you know, because she's probably the most amazing mom. And I mean, there's a few couples in this world where I'm crazy about both. And Serena and her husband, what is his name, Alexei? They just seem like two amazing people. So I want them to expand their family and be happy and everybody healthy. So I would love that for them. Ah, Shelly, thank you so much. New member to Royal Sussex. And also, thank you so much for watching. Greatly appreciated. New member to Royal Sussex. Happy day. And let's see here. Aquarius Cool. Thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for watching. Royal Sussex. Happy Tuesday to you too. Okay. I actually had an appointment earlier. I had an appointment in my home of all places. My insurance company actually sent someone here to do an evaluation. And, you know, I was like, I just seen the doctor, but I let them come anyway because, you know, that's somebody's job. But, you know, plus you can never get too much health care, I suppose. So that was an odd thing, but I'm like, okay. You know, since the pandemic, I have spent more time in my pajamas than Hugh Hefner. Did I tell you guys that? Since the global pandemic, I have spent more time in my pajamas than Hugh Hefner. Whenever I leave this house, when I come back home, the first thing I do is start, where I put the pajamas? I want to hurry up and get back into my PJs. So having someone enter my home that disrupts my usual pajama party. Okay, so I think we're good with that one. Now, you guys, look who was out haunting. I'm sorry, not haunting. Look who was out hanging around Buckingham Palace today. I don't know why I said haunting. That slipped. Anyway, you probably recognize that as Mrs. Magoo herself. Yes, that's right. That is Angela Levin. Angela, child of Satan Levin. Now, listen, you guys. I have managed to find a way to take the electronic filter off of this photo. Plus, I was able to zoom in. Now, I want you guys to, you know, if you're easily excited, maybe hold the phone away from you. Since I was able to remove the filter, and since I was able to, you know, zoom in, I want you to see what she actually looks like. You ready? There you go. That is the real Angela Levin. So, you know, I had a suspicion that they were using filters. So, yeah, there you go. There you go. That is the real Angela Levin. Uh-huh. I know. It will haunt your nightmares. I'm just like, how does she get into a car? How does she like hop in a taxi with a head that huge? Yeah, I know. Yeah, Lorna Williams, that is like an epidemic for women of color. That is an epidemic. They don't listen to women of color. They don't listen, especially Black women. They do not listen. There was actually a doctor that was doing an educational outreach to hospitals, to people that you would think would know better about listening to the patient. And they realized that, I'm going to say it, unconscious bias, racism, they realized that that is a huge factor when it comes to infant mortality and Black women. That is very true. Something that needs to be spoken about. I want her to be safe. I really just want her to be safe. I want the baby to be safe. Because no matter what happens, Serena Williams is older now. So, and I can't judge her situation, but it's just something that I think society puts a lot of pressure on people to do more and more and more. And I think somehow unconsciously people are probably, more active than they would have been in times past. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe I'm taking the wrong direction with that, but I just want everyone safe and healthy. God's Child says King Charles III misses the big picture 300 years from now. People will say his mom Elizabeth era made history, welcomed a mixed marriage, but King Charles was silent at gruesome abuse of, let me see, DIL. I'm not sure what that is. Who didn't go to his coronation? Is that supposed to be a DIL of the Duchess? I'm not sure what that DIL is, but let me see. But King Charles III was silent at gruesome abuse of daughter-in-law. There you go, daughter-in-law. It took me a minute. But yeah, God's Child, that is true. People are going to remember, and no matter how they try to erase this from history, like I said, I will be documenting on Coronation Day. I'm not just watching it because I find it entertaining. I will be documenting, because if I need to make a point about something, or if anybody in the Sussex squad needs to make a point about something, at least we will have it documented. And that does include the conversations from the royal rodents that day, when they're likely to lash out at Meghan again, even though she's not there. Even though she's not there, that never stops them. So thank you so much, God's Child. Thank you for the super sticker, and thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. Manello says, this is to thank God and the squaddies for all the kind messages sent my way. We are family. No need for dialysis now. Yes. No need for dialysis. Now that is room for celebration. That is room for celebration. So in that case, we are going to celebrate. Okay? Hello. Hello. Ivy here. Hello. Ivy. Girl, the Duchess of Sussex won. Meet me at the Royal Sussex party. Nelly's gonna be there. All right. Ivy out. You know what? I have not come down from my high yet. As you know, All right. Well, congratulations, Manello. Okay. That is good news. All right. Let me see here. Okay, so anyway, that is that is Angela Levin live from Buckingham Palace. Yeah, this is anyway. I'm Angela Levin, live from Buckingham Palace, and all right. Oh, let me see here. What did that say? Nearly a third of nurses nationwide say they are likely to leave the profession. Really? That's awful. That is a news report from NPR. Well, if they're in the United States, I couldn't say that pay is the issue, but it's probably the disrespect. A lot of people are not respecting nurses nowadays. Okay, so loose women. Will you swear allegiance to the king? So this was what do you call it? The topic of today on Loose Women. Will you swear allegiance to the king? Well, apparently, Denise. Is it Denise? No. What is her name? Yeah, I think it's well, anyway. She said, well, I'll let you hear what she said. I will let you hear what she said. You know it is going to be something very, very colorful. So let me cue that for you. Oh, Lord, that's not it. Hold on. Ah, there we go.
Your allegiance to King Charles.
What do you think?
A wild guess?
Listen, no, I've got nothing against the royal family. However, of late, I am pledging my allegiance, if any, to Harry and Meghan.
Well, that's different.
Because of that, I won't be pledging my allegiance. I don't even know what you're pledging for. I think we share the same views. I am loyal and would pledge my allegiance to my family, and that's all. I think it's very outdated, and I'm just not a fan of what's going on at the moment. So I won't be pledging my allegiance to them, but I wish them all the very best in their king and queenness.
And they're saying, Coronation, will you pledge allegiance to the king? Hands up if it's a yes. Not one.
Wow.
No, one lone lady there.
Thinking about
Interesting, Gloria. Will you be doing
I won't necessarily make the pledge.
So will you be pledging allegiance to King
pledge
Charles?
allegiance to any man, to be quite perfect. I agree with Denise. I pledge my allegiance to my children, to support them and lift them up as much as I can. And words are words. I want to see actions, and then I can pledge what I want.
Yeah. But if you, we asked you at home what you thought. If I can get this flipping thing to work. Yes, I can. Yeah, will you be pledging your allegiance to the king? And 26% of you say yes, you will. 74 no. So yeah, so
it might actually be older people who do it rather than younger people.
I think so. I think so. Will you be pledging your?
Okay, so Denise says no. Let me see here. Is that Brenda? I think her name is Brenda. She said she doesn't pledge her allegiance to no man. And the audience, only one person in the audience said that they were going to pledge their. And look at all those older people there. And even with all the older people, only one woman in the audience said that she would pledge her allegiance to King Charles III. Of course, again, she said no man. Absolutely not. Brenda Edwards. Thank you so much, Elaine Parker. That's right, Brenda Edwards. Now, as you can see, it's a different panel from the usual. Let's see. Let me see. Yeah. It's a different panel. I don't think there's any of the usuals, right? It's none of the gruesome women. Um, it's not the usual gruesome women. So, but yeah, there you go. So, all right, let's move on then. This is the governor. This is the Republican governor of Iowa. You see the guy on the left side? That is the Republican governor of Iowa. And when he called these young people up on the stage, I forgot what the occasion was because I was so captivated by their T-shirts. Now, as you know, there's a movement with some of the Republicans to ban books. And so this kid wore a T-shirt that says, "I read banned books." And then the young lady down there, she says, public money or public schools. Is that what it says? No, wait. I was trying to figure that out. Money or public schools. Yeah, public money for public schools. There you go. I think that's what her shirt says. But anyway, both of them wore some T-shirts to protest. It was a silent protest. And then there was actually a third student. When they called him up there, he said trans rights are equal rights. That was his protest. So yes, there were 3 of the students in Iowa for that occasion that was protesting the Republican Party here in the U.S. And then this, you know what, guys? Because of the copyright, I was afraid to share this with you. But let's see, me at the coronation dedicating a song to my girl Camilla. Now, maybe you guys have seen it, maybe not. But if you have seen it, go ahead and mention in the chats what song she was singing. Oh man, anybody know? Imagine, what song do you think this young lady was singing for Camilla? I'll wait. I'll wait. Oh, Godchild says, I haven't seen it. Oh no. Even if you haven't seen it, just imagine, what song do you think that oh, that's a good one, Mary H, but it wasn't Other Woman. Okay. I'll give you a hint. Megan Thee Stallion. Megan Thee Stallion. What was that video she had with was it, did she have Kylie Jenner? What was the video? Yes, MOC. Yes. Woo! Da 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 da. Oh man. You guys, what really excites me is that there are people that are not necessarily squatties, but at the same time, there is a implied support for the Sussexes, and if not an implied support, there is at the very least an admonishment or perhaps a sarcastic comment, whatever it is, to help to dress down those people who see themselves as the chosen ones. But yeah, so when I saw this, I think I let out a very primal scream today. I thought that was funny. Oh, and check it out. People are actually buying tea sets and saucers and all other kind of collectibles. So, you know, you guys, these things will be around for a limited time. So if there's anything that you need to decorate your home, you might want to try to, I don't know, head down to one of those gift shops and find yourself some of these porcelain or china plates and stuff before they're all gone. Because otherwise, well, otherwise you may not have an opportunity to grab one. So I'm just saying, because some people collect these things. And just imagine one of these on your sideboard or in your curio cabinet or something, right? Right. Let me see. William Arthur Philip Louis Mountbatten-Windsor. Okay. All right. So anyway, you guys, I am just about done today. I think this is the last. One of my favorite singers, Gordon Lightfoot, has passed away. I believe he's a Canadian. He passed away. And oh God, I used to love that song. Sundown, you're gonna be scared if I find you've been creeping up my back stairs. Someday you think it's a shame. Da 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 da. Pew, 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 pew. Pew, 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 pew. Yeah, that song. And if you could read my mind, love, what a tale my heart could tell. Just like an old time movie, like the kind that the drugstore, no, like an old time novel, like the kind that the drugstores sell. And by the time you reach the part when the heartaches come, the hero will be me or you or something like that. Anyway, I kind of forgot the song, but yeah, I love Gordon Lightfoot. I mean, just talented. Right, Angela Simmons? Oh, yeah. You know, it's one of those people where you just say, they just don't make them like that anymore. He didn't have to sample anybody else's music. He just sang the song. So that was back when music was music. Yep. Wait, did he sing Operator? Who wrote the song Operator? It wasn't James Taylor, was it? Operator, oh, can you help me make this call? You see the number on the matchbook is old and faded. But isn't that the way they say it goes? Well, forget all I said. Da, 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 da. I learned to take the blows. You're gonna take it well. Did he sing that song? Okay, he sang Sundown. Oh, what else? Someday you're gonna be scared if I find you've been creeping up my back stairs. Oh man, now that's when music was music. Now I am going to have to go and listen to me some Gordon Lightfoot. But yes, thank you very much, you guys. I'm just making small talk. I'm all done. I will see you guys tomorrow. Let me see. Oh, okay. Wow, what a life he's had, right? Okay. Born November 17th, 1938, died May the 1st, 2023, was a Canadian singer-songwriter and guitarist who achieved international success in folk rock and country music. He is credited with helping to define the folk pop sound of the 1960s and 70s. He has been referred to as Canada's greatest songwriter and was known internationally as a folk rock legend. Lightfoot biographer Nicholas Jennings said, his name is synonymous with timeless songs about trains and shipwrecks, rivers and highways, lovers and loneliness. Lightfoot songs included For Loving Me, Early Morning Rain, Steel Rail Blues, Ribbon of Darkness, a #1 hit on the U.S. country charts with Marty Robbins' cover of the 1965, and Black Day in July, about the 1967 Detroit riot, brought him wide recognition in the 1960s. Canadian chart success with his own recordings began in 1962 with a #3 hit, Remember Me, I'm the One, followed by recognition and charting abroad in the 1970s. He topped the U.S. Hot 100, or Adult Contemporary, chart with his hit, If You Could Read My Mind, Love, What a Tale My Heart Could Tell. And also the song, what is the other song there? If You Could Read My Mind, Sundown, Carefree Highway, Rainy Day People, The Shipwreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Let me see here. Okay. Wow. I loved his music. I really did. Okay. All right, you guys, let's see here. I'm going to get back over here and look at some of your comments before we go. Oh, Black Queen, I think that's a great idea, especially on a day like today when it's cloudy where I am. I think that would kind of help me mellow out. Yeah, Soft Landing. Yeah, I really liked his music. It was just it was very relaxing and soothing and, dare I say, soulful. Let me see here. Oh, thank you, Olivia Harris. Thank you very much. Okay. Oh, really? Guys, a new anti-protest law has been rushed in time for the coronation. Democracy eroding in our very presence. Isn't it, though? Someday you're gonna be scared if I find you've been creeping up my back stairs. Well, thank you, Andrew Bodie. Someday you think it's a shame. Okay, now that song is going to be stuck in my head all day. The only cure is to go and listen to it. Yeah. What a interesting song, though. Sundown. It kind of reminds me of, what other song that reminds me of is, oh gosh, what is the song? Oh, you belong to me. Tell her you were fooling. You belong to me. Who sings that song? Anyway, it kind of reminds me of that. I don't know why. Just kind of like that. It has like an air of regret, right? You belong to me. You belong to me. Da, 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 da. You don't have to prove to me you're beautiful to strangers, 'cause I got loving eyes of my own. Yes, Carly Simon. You belong to me. Tell her you fooling. You belong to me. Yeah, this seems like a good day for some old school. I don't know what these young people be listening to. I don't know what they get out of music, says the older person, but it just don't seem like music to me. My sinuses. Okay. Oh, yes, yes. He came from somewhere back in a long ago. All right, now I had some water go down the wrong way. Let me see here. Oh, did Michael McDonald sing that too? Yes, he did, right? I think so. Well, you guys, listen. As much as I may have my feelings about the royal family these days, I pray that nobody, and I do mean no one, is physically hurt during this coronation. I hope that it is a peaceful event, that nobody's going to throw anything, or, because people get hurt. You don't want to have a panic and people get trampled over and stuff like that. And if something like that happens, people can get really hurt, and we don't want that. And I think there's been at least 2 events in the UK where there was a panic and people were injured. That's the thing at the concert in Birmingham, was it? Some of those people died because people had, well, actually, didn't all of the people that died, wasn't that because people run over them? And then, of course, there was that stadium collapse that they had that time. So we just don't want people to get hurt. That would be a real shame. So, not wishing anything bad on anybody. And for the people, listen, you hate listeners, listen. I know I'm very sarcastic, and I know sometimes I can really freestyle on the family, but we don't hate anybody at Royal Sussex, right? And I just want to say that if that coronation is important to you, hate listeners, then I hope it's everything that you want it to be. Seriously, I hope it's everything you want it to be. And if it is not, it is because of the nasty, malicious, backstabbing, twisted, psychological game playing members of the royal family who doesn't seem to have love in their heart. If that's what causes things to go south, then it's on their heads, not the Sussexes. If things become a lot of protesting and shouting, just remember you have put your faith in some very mediocre individuals like Kate Middlebaum, Workshop Willie, and of course Sausage Fingers, and that silky chicken basset hound queen consort. Those are the people that you bet your money on. So if things don't work out, just remember those are the people that you put you wagered the future with them people. But don't blame the Sussexes. But again, I hope that everything is just what you want it to be. But if it's not, just remember the ancestors have spoken. All right. That's all I have to say about it. I wish everybody well this weekend. I will be there to oh man. Right. I mean, listen. When you have a couple of fornicators, when you have what do you call it? When you have 2 people like that that are going to go into the most sacred of spaces in all of the United Kingdom. They're going to go and enter Westminster Abbey, a place where more kings, if not all the kings, except for maybe a couple of them, right, have been crowned since 1066 or whatever. If you're going to go into that space and allow them people to put sacred oil on you, and you're going to make a promise to uphold, I mean, if something goes wrong, that's on you, boo. That's on you. That's what you get. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not wishing anything bad on anybody. I hope everything is what everybody wants it to be, in a positive way, of course. Well, April, May, I really do feel that way because, you know, the reason why I'm very sympathetic is because back in 2018, when I went to the United Kingdom and I had a chance to stand in the crowd and enjoy the experience of being at a royal wedding, that was something that I had wanted since 1981. Now think about it. I just thought about this too. This just comes to mind. 81, 18. Just flip the number around. 1981, 2018. So it took me all those years from 1981 to 2018. All those years I said, oh my God, if I could just be in a crowd doing a royal wedding, if I could just stand there and watch on the Jumbotron, if I can, just experience that, how great would that be? But I never got an urge to go over there because Will and Kate was getting married. I didn't care. But to be able to be there for Harry and Meghan, that was special. That was special. And you know what? Some of those nasty, awful, mean-spirited people in that family and in that institution put a bad taste in my mouth, right? So even though they managed to ruin that for me, I'm hoping better for people who have waited a lifetime to enjoy a coronation. I'm hoping better for them than they were able to give to me, right? I'm trying to be the bigger person. But if it all goes terribly wrong, remember, it's because of the way that they treated Harry and Meghan. There's a particular type of evil under the roofs of those 20 homes that they own. There's a certain level of evil that is so pernicious and so omnipresent that I don't look at me when things go terribly wrong. It won't be nothing that I said. It won't be what I said. It'll be what they've said and what they've done that has caused these calamities upon them. That's all. Nothing to do with me. But, I feel for anybody who had hopes to enjoy this occasion, and now they can't because of that nastiness from that family. So that's what I'm trying to articulate. All right, bearing the difference between squatties and derangers, we respect but wish no real harm. I'm sorry, we disagree. What am I saying? We disagree but wish no real harm. And a vast majority of us consider the impact and truth of our words. Absolutely, John. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. Very, very true. Yeah. Some of the derangers, they don't even care if the children are hurt. The derangers don't care about the Sussexes, don't care about the children, don't care about Doria. They don't care about any of that stuff. And if you are kind to the Sussexes, then they will hold that against you too. It's amazing. But then again, I shouldn't be surprised because that same type of mentality is just like in the old Jim Crow day with the lynch mobs. Those lynch mobs could literally see the most horrific scenes on a weekend. And then what happened? They go to church on Sunday. They go back to their job at the library or at the local factory or at the hardware store like nothing has ever happened. And I think those same type of people exist today. Those are the ones that don't believe that Meghan was pregnant. Those are the ones that have called Harry a race traitor. And these are people's neighbors. These are just neighbors. It's hard to believe, but they're just neighbors. They're the sweet old lady down the street. They're the pharmacists. They're all kind of people right here in the greater society that are capable of such evil. And I do believe that a lot of the Derangers are capable of that kind of evil, that they could care less. If anything terrible happens, what do they say? Well, they probably had it coming. That's what they would say. So it's sad but true. And if you are one of the hate listeners, I'm talking to you because you're probably just that awful. Even though you don't think you are, I wouldn't doubt that some of the people that listen to Royal Sussex every day that hate Harry and Meghan, I don't doubt that they could walk away from the worst atrocities and go home and go right back to sleep. Wouldn't bother them a bit because they have evil in their heart. They have evil in their heart. They're probably more evil than they even know they are. Every time they are exposed, they cannot take one day of heat after trolling for years. Yeah. 1 day of heat after they have been out to destroy and destroy and destroy. But once that turn, like, remember the guy who stole Nancy Pelosi's lectern and he ended up having to go to jail? And his mother was like, oh, he's a vegan and he's not going to be able to get the right food. And I mean, look at how all of those January 6 people were literally falling apart with the idea of jail time. These are the people that brought bear spray, zip ties, all that stuff. But one night in jail, and they were crying like a rat eating onions. One night, that was all it took to break them. Even the implication of jail time and no, that's all it took. Didn't take much. And they just collapsed in a puddle of waste because somebody suggested they might do some jail time. They were tough when it was a bunch of them and all that kind of stuff, but away from the crowd, they weak as water. Thank you so much for that, Lydia. Shirley Kearney says, Baron, I am sorry, but I do not want whatever they get for all of it. They put Princess Meghan, Prince Harry, Lady Doria, and Prince Archie through. I do not hate them, but I do not want to see them I do not want them to see truth. Yeah. I struggle sometimes, but for the most part, I try to find a common place for everyone. You know what I mean? But there are some people that are just plain evil. They are just plain evil, and there's no way to reform them, and there's no way that you can be in the same space with certain people. So, but yeah, it's amazing how much the MAGA people and the Brexit people, some of the Royalists, and that's why it's so easy to recruit them to be Royalists on this side of the ocean, because they already have that hate and hostility in their hearts. I mean, very hateful people. It's incredible. It's incredible. Did you guys see the lady that was harassing the Latino family next door, where she came over to the house like a big bully? She comes over to the house with the hammer and she's banging on the ring cam and telling them, you're not supposed to be here. That's the person that sits around the house all day watching Fox News. That's what that is. Someone who sits around all day and watch Fox News. And then, if that's not bad enough, they have been programmed to hate Harry and Meghan. They have been programmed because that bridge from the tabloid media to the Fox News. So it's like a marching order. It's like they have been rebooted, and they have put the hate app in their heads. That's exactly what it is. And the thing is, hey, B10 pal, the thing is, it just comes so easy to some of those people to hate. Like I say, it comes very easy. Did you guys see that documentary about the woman who was trolling someone on the internet, and they had came to her house, and her son had moved out of the country, and he didn't know how deep down the rabbit hole that his mother had gone in the world of trolling people. And I forget who or why she was trolling these other people, but the hatred was so intense. It was such an intense hatred. But after she was discovered, right? And after she was put under the microscope, after all the scrutiny that she went through, she's not alive anymore. She couldn't take it. She could not survive what was being done to her, which was only a fraction of what she had put other people through. She didn't think she could be here anymore, so she's not. Isn't that something? For years, she menaced people as a keyboard warrior. And once it was turned on her, she couldn't take it. That's why I say it's some people out here that have so much hate and hostility for people that they've never met, that they've never known, and all they know about that person is what they read in the Daily Fail, what they found on the Sun, the Express. That's the programming that they received. It's amazing, but it really does happen, and it could be anybody. It could be the person next door. It could be the person that works at the diner that just poured your coffee. During their downtime, all they do is hate and hate and hate. And that President Trump, we probably could not even calculate how many people have lost their lives because of him. And the worst part is, he doesn't even care. He doesn't even care. He's part of the ruling class. And the ruling class people, a lot of them don't care what happens to the rest of us. They don't care that their words can cause that kind of pain. They don't care. They really don't care. That is so part of their DNA. The only thing we could do is just do the best we can to push back against it. That's it. To peacefully and joyfully, if possible, push back. That's all we can do. Because they have a right to exist. They have a right to hate. B10 says some people have one rule for themselves and another for others. Narcissistic. Yeah, true. Oh, you guys, did you all see those people protesting Trump? I can't say what they have been calling him, but it kind of rhymes with Trump. But they have been protesting him. I mean, big time. People in Scotland don't play. Love it. I know. But you know what? As a former president, it's not like he can hide anywhere. I mean, let's face it, Donald Trump is a conspicuous individual designed to stick out. As what's her name? Oh my God, I can't think of her name. The one that was in Sister Act, Maggie Smith. Remember that? She said that to Whoopi Goldberg. She says, absolutely not. You're a conspicuous woman designed to stick out. A conspicuous woman designed to stick out. Oh my God, that was so funny. Absolutely. No, you're a conspicuous woman designed to stick out. Now, how do you reply to that? How do you respond when someone says that you're a conspicuous woman designed to stick out? You know what? Next time I talk to Prince Edward, I'm going to ask him. I'm going to say, Edward, how did you feel? How did you respond when someone said that to you? And when he says what, I'm going to say, you're a conspicuous woman designed to stick out. Yes. How did you reply? How do you come back from that? Oh, man. Yeah. TB. I'm not much for when they go low, or no, what is that? When they go low, we go high. I ain't much for that one, but I'm working on it. I am working on it. So yeah, I'm with you. TV says I can't stand ugly, but I do not wish what is that? Harm on them. Karma does not discriminate. That's right. The difference between us squatties and the haters is we call out their hate, showing them their true face by defending Harry and Meghan every time. Every time. So yeah, I like to believe. I'm not actually, I know we're better than that. So okay. Let me see. Oh, B10, I missed that. Baron, I need retweeting the people who are speaking out against the coronation and Charles. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, B10. Well, you got to keep them informed. You have to keep them informed. Let me see here. Oh, I wish he would. I really wish he would. And that way we'd be done with him. We'd be done with him. Okay. All right, you guys. I feel a nap coming on. I had to get up too early today. So I am going to go. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Thank you, moderators. Thank you, everyone, for your very generous and thoughtful contributions. And thank you to the new members that we have. Also, prayers to everyone that is recovering, because let's see, Church Nelly had surgery, right? And is Church Nelly having surgery, or Church Nelly just had tests? And then Jerry White, Jerry's had surgery, so she's like a long time member of Royal Sussex. So haven't heard from her yet, but looking forward to the good word. All right, so all right, I think we're good. And our last word for today is bye, everyone. Works for me. And then with that, I am going to, where are Let me see here. Take that away. Go to the end. There's a method. There's a method. Yep. I done got sleepy. All right, our queens. VS speaks royally. I didn't know you were here. And you're making it rain, 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 rain on me. That's why you didn't say anything. You didn't want me to get distracted by that song. And you're making it rain, 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 rain on me. Mwah! All right, all right. Yeah, Reba Henderson. That is, some of them they don't know how they really are. They don't see themselves. They always say our eyes are broken. We don't see ourselves for who we are. I think that a lot of those derangers really don't gauge the evil that they have inside of them. I don't think they're aware of it. At least I hope that they're not consciously as awful as they are. But some of the stuff that they say, I was looking at Jeremy Vine today. Glow had posted a few things. And the guy that was there I told you those shows are performative. Some of the people they invite to those panels, especially the ones that are there to hate Meghan and Harry, they have to get in their talking points because, let's face it, everybody's paid to be there. And as soon as I think her name is it Keisha? No, not Keisha. I forget the lady's name. But anyway, she said something about Meghan can't get a break and this and that. And he goes, well, they have been awful. No, he said she has been awful. And I mean, it was just out of nowhere that he said that. And the whole time you could see him like inching toward the edge of his seat to make sure that as soon as he heard an open space where he can insert his toxin from his mouth into the air, he took it. And I'm just like, God, that's got to be exhausting. But he was smiling. He was smiling. It was a game. And so the idea that his words might trigger someone to harm the Sussexes did not matter. He was there to get a paycheck. And he has, in his mind, disconnected any culpability of his words and the idea of threats and or harm to the Sussexes. That just wasn't part of the deal. He did what he was paid to do, and then he went home. I wonder if they used Zelle. I wonder if they used Zelle to pay him. And you guys, I don't know where I saw Lady C's Twitter. Do you know that she has links to hire her for speaking engagements? In other words, if you need her to be on your raggedy talk show, then you can hire her. She made it that much easier. She put the link right there on her Twitter so that you can pay her to go on TV or to go on or to stream somewhere to say something hateful and negative about Meghan. I don't know how the rest of them do it, but I saw it for her. I do believe it was for her Twitter. The link, it was a link to hate speech, as far as I'm concerned. This is the link to hate speech. You just click here. She has no morals. She has no shame. You can't embarrass her. You'd have to go pretty low to say something to offend her. You'd have to go pretty low. Yeah, B10. heartless, vile and heartless. Yeah, that's why I don't even bother with The View. The View is it's performative, it's performance art. That's all it is. All it does is elevate your blood pressure and waste your time, because you're not going to change the narrative. You're not going to hear. They might say one thing that you need to hear and 10 things that's going to make you feel worse than when you started out. Yeah, that's the way they do it. And you're making it rain, 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 rain on me. Okay.
On that trip, and maybe
Nervous.
Wait.
No, but nervous isn't a
overwhelming arena.
No, but you have to be very careful because you get trolled, like I've done before, by moronic people. But the fact is, people that have just don't even listen or don't even read properly. For example, I find boring. But the fact is, what I'm trying to say to you is that she was under a lot of pressure on that trip. Listen or don't even read properly. Sussex, for example, I find people that have just don't even listen or don't even read properly. People, but the fact is, people that have just don't even listen or don't even read properly. Sussex.
Did you hear him snort? Did you guys hear that? People that don't even. People that. the Sussex squad. Oh Lord. They don't listen. They don't even read. The people on the Sussex squad. I literally heard him grunt. He literally grunt like a pig. Listen.
The fact is, people that have just don't even listen or don't even read properly.
Oh Lord. I couldn't. One more time, you guys. One more time.
But the fact is, people that have just don't even listen or don't even read properly.
Oh Lord. Well, isn't he a delight? I mean, this man literally, he was so anxious to tell his side of the story that he just sat up there and grunt. And look at Omen Scobie. What is he, like 42 years old now? 42 years old and look like a baby. And how old is Jobo? Jobo's got to be at least 50. He better be 50. Robert Jobson. Let me see here. He better be at least 50. Okay, he's 59. That's what he is. He's 59. Robert Jobson, 59. Oh man. And what is he? Is he hanging on to the back of that chair? Is he afraid he's going to slide out to the floor? I think he's hanging on to the back of that chair because he can't get enough behind on it. And he's afraid he's going to slide out to the floor. Oh, man. All right. I'm taking requests. Ain't no way for me to love you if you won't let me. I said, ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. No way. It ain't no way. Nash Singby, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for watching Royals Sussex. Oh, man. Robert Jobson sitting up there grunting like a hog. Oh, well. Yes, the Queen of Soul. Woo! Was that her sister that did that background? Woo! Okay, you guys. I need to go take a nap. Thank you, everyone. It's been fun. I like when we just hang out like this. But it is time to go. Gracie Infowabi. I didn't know you were here. I saw that. I need to go and see what's going on with that. Let me take a look at the the fail always get the first pictures. You know that. I mean to tell you, the Daily Mail, they be so anxious to hurry up and get the story out there that they have all kind of grammatical errors, misspelling words, and you messed up. If I could see a grammatical error, you done effed up bad. Let me see. I'm going to kill. Oh, I can't repeat that one. Suspect who had been heard ranting against Charles is arrested for throwing shotgun cartridges into Buckingham Palace grounds before controlled explosion rocked royal residence 4 days before the coronation. Rocked the residence. I mean, they were just shells, but okay. Still, it's not a good thing. I could tell you that. Wow. How interesting is that? It's almost like that was a warning or something. Oh. It's on CBS, huh? Well, does the term lone wolf mean anything? A man who threw shotgun cartridges into grounds of Buckingham Palace was arrested on suspicion of possessing a weapon. Met Police detained the man, believed to be in his 30s, around 7 p.m. after he approached the gates of the palace in central London. As coronation rehearsals took place, witnesses said the man was seen throwing a number of items in the residence ground. Shouldn't that be residential? In the residential grounds. Okay, residence ground. Before he was arrested and detained. Police later carried out a controlled explosion of the suspicious bag. Oh, it was a bag. As a precaution, a witness alleged the suspect had stationed himself outside the palace over the last few nights and was heard shouting that he was going to harm, I can't say the words. Buckingham Palace confirmed the king and queen were not in residence when the incident occurred, but a royal spokesman would not answer whether any other relatives or family members were there when it unfolded. Police says they are not currently treating the incident as a terror-related incident. MP Jacob Rees-Mogg, who was presenting live from the palace for GB News incident at the time. Let me see. Said he could have carried on broadcasting rather than evacuating after the controlled explosion. Okay, so I'm sure this person is just probably suffering from delusions or something like that. I'm sure it's not part of a wider conspiracy. Certainly not. Just a person that's a little fragile. Let me see. I know. Speaking of those two, right? I don't think that either one of them have earned that respect. Either one of them. Not just one, but both of them. I don't think either one of them have even earned that respect. But Oh well, as odd as it sounds, that's what they're saying. King and queen. All right. That's why I say it doesn't seem like it's the biggest deal in the world, but it could be like some type of distraction for something else. You can believe that. Oh well. And so this is how it ends, right? This is how it ends. The monarchy is sinking like a stone. 1,000 years of history, 1,000 years, and now it is sinking like a stone. Hey, Legs says, sorry, this screams false flag to draw up national support before his coronation. Remember the threat to QE2. Their PR hasn't worked, but fear does. Yeah, Legs. That's why I said it seems rather odd. I do believe it seems rather odd, and much like, and what else did they do? Well, the looking into slavery, okay, that didn't work. Trying to invite Harry and Meghan, that didn't work. What is that? Release Meghan's letter, or drop that out there about Meghan's letter, because that made Charles look good, and that didn't work. Or how about the national what is that, Pledge of Allegiance? Well, we all know that didn't work. So yeah, Legs, I agree with you. It kind of reeks of a false flag operation. Either that, or there is a mentally ill loner out there who just wanted some attention. But there is every possibility that this is just to drum up sympathy for the sovereign. Thank you so much for your super chat, Legs. Okay. It's number 63 in 1,200 years of royalty. Really? So he's the 63rd? He's number 63 in 1,200 years. Okay. He's the 63rd, huh? Interesting. Hi, Joy Amore. Oh, let me see. As a message of what's coming, I responded to a couple of calls like that. Really? Okay. Kind of like Ari Emanuel's brother, Rahm Emanuel, sending a dead fish to a political rival. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, first they passed the law, right? And then this. So that will justify the 6,000 military people on the streets of London this weekend. 6,000. I don't think they've ever had 6,000 people since the Second World War, but 6,000 military personnel are going to be on the streets of London. Now, I think a lot of those people are going to be involved in the actual, procession and such, but I don't think most of them will. I don't even think a fraction of them really. Just a fraction of them will be there for the royal family, but the rest are going to be crowd control, are going to create a barrier along the street, a barrier of humanity that is going to stretch out for 1.7 miles, 1.3 miles. I saw that. Reba Henderson. Yeah, I saw that. It's like a newspaper clipping, right? Yeah. I wasn't sure about it, so I didn't want to share it. I had no way to verify it, but I don't doubt that it's real. To be real. It's got to be real. To be real. It's got to be real. To be real. Oh, this is one of those days where every other word reminds me of a song. Ooh, your love for real. You know that your love is my love. My love is your love. Our love is here to stay. Oh, man. Oh. Oh, see, I know I'm tired when I do that. As much as I am enjoying hanging out with you guys, I'm about to go take me a nap. I know it's kind of late to take a nap, but I'm gonna be up all night. Oh no. I don't know who would hire me. I don't know who would hire me. But let me see here. Okay. Oh, really? That's cool. That's cool. You know, when I went to Brighton, I can't remember what song that was, but I think it was "Got to Be Real" that they were playing at the boardwalk thing there in Brighton, or is it the no, not the boardwalk, the pier, whatever, the Brighton Pier, whatever. But yeah, I think that was a song that they were playing was "To Be Real," but I just remember I was just like, oh, they getting down. To be real, it's got to be real. It's got to be real. Let me see. Etna Terrain, thank you so much for being here. Church Nelly may or may not be here, but thank you so much. I know. I think I slept 4 hours. That wasn't enough. That was not enough. I have been running on fumes all day, but I had an appointment. So that's why I don't like appointments, because when I knew that I was having an appointment, then I stayed up dusting and cleaning and wiping. And it's just like, if I'm not paying attention to it, why would anybody else pay attention to it? And plus, this is a professional call, right? But still, I went through the trouble because I don't know. I always do that. Whenever somebody's supposed to come over, I'm up all night cleaning. All of a sudden, I feel like I need to do the baseboards, you know? I mean, who does not clean their baseboards at 2 o'clock in the morning? I do. So, and then to make sure that I wouldn't forget, I plugged in the vacuum and just had it sitting there because I got so tired. I'm just like, okay, I'm about to go to bed. But I wanted to make sure as soon as I woke up, I would run the vacuum. So that's what I did. That is like my little compulsive thing, is that when I know I'm having company, I want everything to look just so. And then, of course, when I'm finished cleaning, then you have to do the walkthrough. You know how when you walk through and make sure everything is completely idyllic and well placed. Got to do that. You only have one time to make a great impression, right? Or I'm sorry, a first impression. You only have one time to make a first impression. Yes, please don't forget to like on your way out. Let me see here. Hey, Connie Bomber, you're still up. I know it's got to be late there, but thank you for hanging in here with us. Let me see. Yeah, Rhonda, I thought I was taking a nap too, but I've been sitting up here talking up a storm. You know, I saw Carol Burnett. I saw Carol Burnett on, who interviewed her? Was it Jimmy Fallon? No. Was it Jimmy Kimmel? Yes, it was Jimmy Kimmel. I almost never watch Jimmy Kimmel because he's a pain in the neck. But I love Carol Burnett, so I watched it. And she looks good. She feels good. Oh my goodness. I just cannot believe that she was 90 years old. I mean, yeah, she looks older, but still. I mean, she said, I got all my parts. I got all my parts. I got my hips. I got my knees. I got all my parts. So, oh God, did I love the Carol Burnett show. What a great show. Just turned 90, yeah. Just turned 90. Oh, the good old days of television. The good old days. These are the good old days. These are the good old days. These are the good old days. Dum, 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 dum. We may never know about the things to come, but we think about them anyway. Is that Carly Simon? I love Carly Simon. I love me some Carly Simon. Always clean the day before housekeeper comes. You got problems. I always clean the day before my housekeeper comes because I don't want her telling strangers that I'm a slob, right? Okay, well, I usually say, I don't want them to think I live like this. That's what I usually say. I got to clean up because I don't want them to think I live like this, which obviously I live like that. That's why I got to clean up. Oh, man. It's amazing what I think it needs to be addressed. After months and months of being careless, all of a sudden, I can think of stuff that needs to be addressed because somebody's coming over tomorrow. Oh, man. Oh, and by the way, thank you very much, Shelly L, for the super chat. Okay. Okay, now wait a minute. It's almost 3 hours. Now I really got to go because I got to reply to some messages on my phone. Desiree Dotson says, had they did right by Meghan and Harry, this could have been a much better scene. But no, they're greedy and want it all. They learn nothing from Diana. Camilla, what goes around comes around. Exactly. Thank you so much, Desiree. That is so true. It's very sad, though. And it's not that I'm sad for them, awful people, but I'm just sad at the missed opportunity. I hate to see things wasted. To have the platform that that family has, right? And to have the connections, to have the everything that they're capable of, and they have squandered it. And then even worse, you have someone marry into the family, and it was history repeating. Remember what I said, just turn the number around. 1981, 2018. Just turn that 8 and 1 around. And there you have it. A missed opportunity. What a waste of time. What a terrible, terrible waste of time. A waste of time, a waste of resources, a waste. Let me see. Let the river run. Can't get out of my head. Brought up Carly Simon. Oh, Denise Marcus. I love Carly Simon. I do. I love Carly Simon. Let me see. Oh, thank you, Rosemary King. Greatly appreciate it. Okay. All right, you guys, I am going to Ginger Adventure, and I will see you all tomorrow. Because next thing you know, I might as well just stay up and go to bed later. Plus, I got a edited video I need to work on, so I'm gonna go do that after I rest up and everything. So I will see you guys. It is time to cue the Ginger Avenger. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. Did I just say tomorrow? The sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that the sorrow and the pain we're taking a trip tomorrow. Oh man, see, certain words are a trigger for me. Certain words trigger me. And the next thing you know, I got to get that song out of my system. So one of my triggers is sorrow, tomorrow. And another one of my trigger words is, oh yeah, I can't say it because if I say it, I'm going to have to sing it. So I'm not going to say it. But remember that song, Do Right Woman, Aretha Franklin? It's that G word, that G word. So if I hear that word, then I got to sing that song. So I'm not even going to say it. No, I'm not clearing my throat to sing it. I'm just clearing my throat. But okay, bye for real, y'all. Bye from Ivy. Bye. Hello, Ivy here. Bye from Ivy. Bye. Okay, cue Ginger Avenger.